Hello there, thanks for joining me this Saturday. I'm Muhammad Ahmad Hamdan and these are tonight's headlines. PAS admits Tun now is better as PM than before. Bookshops threatened over sale of Joe Low expose. And Hurricane Florence claims lives of 5 in North Carolina. Right, we begin tonight's bulletin with this tragic story. 2 brothers were among 3 people killed in Kuala Kangsar, Perak, when the car they were travelling in was rammed by a trailer and dragged into a drain last night. All 3 died on the spot, while the trailer driver only sustained minor injuries in the 8 p.m. incident at Jalan Ipoh Taiping near Kampong Jamuan. The victims were identified as Muhammad Ashraf Hamdan Al-Fikri, aged 27, his brother Muhammad Irfan, 17, and their neighbour's son, 12-year-old Muhammad Amirul Fahmi Samaudin. The heavy vehicle was en route to Kuala Kangsar from Sungai Siput when it suddenly swerved into the opposite lane and slammed head-on into the Nissan Sunny. According to the District Fire and Rescue Station Chief, Muhammad Taufik Abdul Sattar, the rescue team faced some difficulties in extricating the victims from the mangled car, as it was under the trailer, which was stuck to a high-voltage cable following the crash. A team from Tenaga Nasional Berhad TNB had to be brought to assist the rescue team. A crane was also used to raise a trailer. The bodies of the deceased were removed from the car by 11:30 p.m. and sent to Kuala Kangsar Hospital for post-mortem. The trailer driver has been detained to facilitate investigation into the crash. Meanwhile, the 3 victims were laid to rest together in one grave at the Kampong Beluru Muslim Cemetery in Kuala Kangsar at about noon today. A solemn mood enveloped the air as about 500 of their family members and friends gathered for the funeral ceremony. According to the father of one of the victims, all 3 were on their way to have dinner when the accident occurred.
Anak saudara dia ni driver lori kan. Maknanya bila dia balik daripada driver lori ada cuti kan. Dia mesti datang rumah, dia ambil anak saya bawa jalan, bawa pergi makan-makan. Kan. Tapi dia tak sangkalah kita nak jadi macam tu kan.
In Terengganu, a 49-year-old man is now in a coma after he was trampled on by a herd of cows while riding his Ducati Diavel in a bike convoy in Marang yesterday. Anwar Abdul Rahim sustained severe injuries after his machine fell on the road and 30 cows came charging at him in the 2 p.m. incident. He was part of a convoy of 20 bikers who were making their way from Kuala Terengganu to Setiu. Anwar's wife, Dewi Rosita Abdul Rahim, who was in the same convoy and rode her motorbike about 10 meters ahead of her husband, said that she was also trampled but managed to control her machine when the incident occurred. The victims were rushed to the Sultanah Nur Zahira Hospital in Kuala Terengganu. Her husband remains in the intensive care unit and is still unconscious due to bleeding to his brain. In other news, 37 female foreign nationals involved in prostitution activities by a syndicate using the WeChat application were nabbed in a raid in Subang Jaya, Selangor last night. The prostitution ring, which was operating from a luxury hotel, was smashed by the Immigration Department's quick response team following 2 days of surveillance. The syndicate was believed to have rented out 15 hotel rooms for the foreign nationals. The modus operandi involved clients picking out the women of their choice using the WeChat application before meeting at the hotel. Clients would then be charged between 250 and 500 ringgit for 45 minutes of service. Condoms, sexual lubricants and cash were also discovered during the raid. Those arrested included women of various nationalities from Mongolia, Uzbekistan, China, Vietnam, Thailand and Indonesia, as well as 2 local men and a Bangladeshi believed to be the women's caretakers. Immigration enforcement officers also detained 7 individuals believed to be their clients to assist with investigation. All of them were brought to the Immigration Department headquarters in Putrajaya for further action. In Sabah, the abductors of the two fishermen who were taken on September 11th in the Sampurna waters off Pulau Gaya have yet to make any contact with the families of the victims. State Police Commissioner Dato' Omar Mama, who disclosed this, also said that police have advised fishermen, especially in the east coast of Sabah, to take precautionary measures, especially at night, such as equip their trawlers with a communication and detection system, as well as not to be at sea for a long duration, as it will make them vulnerable targets.
Perkembangan setakat ini, pihak suspek ataupun mana-mana pihak yang mungkin dilantik oleh pihak suspek ini belum menghubungi sama ada keluarga mangsa ataupun majikan mangsa. Jadi berdasarkan kepada pengalaman-pengalaman kes colek yang seperti ini, mereka akan meletakkan suspek ataupun mangsa di tempat yang selamat, dan setelah mereka rasakan bahawa selamat, dan barulah ada usaha untuk menghubungi sama ada majikan mangsa ataupun keluarga mangsa.
In the latest abduction incident, a trawler with 4 fishermen which had been at sea for 3 days was stopped by 2 armed men wearing masks. 2 of the fishermen were then taken by the suspects, while their friends managed to flee the abductors before contacting police. The abducted victims were identified as Indonesians, 40-year-old Samsul Saguni and Usman Yunus, aged 35. And still in Sabah, Chief Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Shafie Apdal said the state is still in talks with the federal government on its 20% claim of oil royalty. He said discussions had already taken place with Economic Affairs Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin Ali, and that the matter would be discussed with Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad.
Saya sentuh tentang perkara itu kerana beliau telah menjawab di Parlimen, dan saya nyatakan bagaimana hasrat dan pendirian kita tentang perkara ini. We look into that, how best it can be adjusted to make sure that it can be done, implemented, the 20%. Ada beberapa perkara yang perlu kita perincikan. Saya tak perlu sebutkan, dan saya juga akan bincang dengan Yang Amat Berhormat Tun Mahathir Mohamad nanti.
He said this to the media after a meeting with Datuk Seri Azmin at his official residence in Kota Kinabalu this morning. Datuk Seri Muhammad Shafie added that the Sabah state government would fully cooperate with the federal government in ensuring that all pledges from the 14th general election GE14 manifesto would be fulfilled. Other issues discussed with the Economic Affairs Minister during their meeting included rural development and the devolution of administrative powers from the federal government to the Sabah state government. In a related development, PAS has thanked the Prime Minister and the federal government for agreeing to grant oil royalties to Kelantan and Terengganu. Party President Datuk Seri Abdul Hadi Awang said the positive move would cultivate the spirit of federalism, which he said was weak under the previous administration.
Tak harap mereka memimpin kerajaan baru ni ada perubahan. Dan di sana ada tanda-tanda yang positif. Contohnya kenyataan untuk memberi royalti petroleum kepada Kelantan. Apalagi keputusan yang unik saya sebut dalam ucapan tadi, apabila banyak kerajaan negeri berlain kerajaan pusat. Kerajaan pusat lain dengan negeri lain. Banyak kerajaan negeri ini berbeza dengan kerajaan pusat. Jadi mengurangkan tekanan. Mudah-mudahan menjadi pengajaran kepada kerajaan pusat untuk bertindak lebih baik dan lebih demokratik.
Datuk Seri Abdul Hadi said this in his policy speech during the launch of PAS's 64th General Assembly at the Terengganu Indoor Stadium Sports Complex today. He also said the party will not abandon its agenda to include Sharia law as part of the country's constitutional democracy framework. He added PAS will also look into expanding the role of the Sharia courts to become the core of Malaysia's legal system. Meanwhile, when asked what he thinks about Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad now, Datuk Seri Abdul Hadi Awang said that the Premier is nicer and more mature compared to his previous tenure as PM.
Keadaan berubah, pemikiran dia juga berubah, pengalaman dia lebih banyak lagi, dan dia mempelajari daripada kelemahan dulu. Dia dengan dia mempelajari kelebihan dulu tu, kita jangka dia lebih matang. Dengan sebab itulah dia janji nak bagi balik royalti kepada Kelantan dan Terengganu. Itu berlaku kematangan itu.
Lebih baiklah Malaysia.
Ya.
Now, UMNO said it will not take disciplinary action against Datuk Sri Muhammad Nazri Abdul Aziz and Datuk Sri Shahidan Qasim for openly supporting PKR President-elect Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim in the upcoming Port Dickson parliamentary seat by-election. UMNO President Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said there is no need for such a move, as he believes in celebrating differences of opinion in the party.
Nazri is not representing UMNO or BN as a whole. He is representing himself as an MP and one of UMNO head of division. So I respect his personal opinion. Okay. Apa perlunya?
Kalau UMNO meletakkan calon di Port Dickson dan Datuk Sri Nazri sokong Datuk Sri Anwar.
Saya tidak nampak ada permasalahan. Itu saya sering meraihkan perbezaan pendapat.
He said this after attending the official opening ceremony of PASA's 64th Annual General Assembly earlier today. Previously, Datuk Sri Nazri and Datuk Sri Shahidan had expressed their support for Datuk Sri Anwar and PKR in the Port Dickson by-election and had hoped that UMNO would not place its candidate to contest against the PKR President-elect. When we return, tons of food are wasted daily. What can be done? Find out after this. Don't go away. Thank you for staying with us on 7 Edition. Now let's take a look at our daily segment, Clickbait, for what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. What was a recent horror movie you've watched? Apparently there is this one in particular that has got people so scared that they literally peed their pants. And embarrassingly, this incident actually happened in GSC Berjaya Times Square. Twitter user Yusri shared this picture of a seat in the cinema which was soaking wet and reeked of the smell of urine. In the tweet, he also wondered whether this was cast by someone who peed while watching Munafik Dua or The Nun, because they were so scared. The post has sparked a debate between netizens deciding whether the culprit behind the incident was a man or a woman. A few days after the post went viral, GSC had clarified that they had immediately changed the seat that had fallen victim to the pee incident. And now updated as of 7 p.m, here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today. Now, some updates relating to the One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB scandal. Lawyers representing fugitive financier Low Take Joe, also known as Joe Low, are seeking to dissuade bookshops from carrying a book detailing his alleged role in the scandal with threats of defamation lawsuits. British news website The Guardian reported that bookshops around the world have received threatening letters in an attempt to prevent the distribution of the book titled Billion Dollar Whale. It was reported that the letters had stated the decision by some to publish a synopsis of the book by the Wall Street Journal reporters Bradley Hope and Tom Wright constituted an actionable libel of Joe Low. London-based law firm Schillings was reported to have written to one bookseller saying that it was astonishing that the shop had published a description of the book on its website. Similar warnings were also sent to book distributors and independent chains worldwide, warning them against carrying the title over claims that its contents were seriously defamatory. They also told booksellers that if they did not receive a response, legal proceedings will be taken against their bookshops. In early September, the law firm was also reported to have threatened to sue the book's publishers for substantial damages on the basis that it assumed the book would repeat defamatory accusations previously made about Joe Low. Moving on, a survey conducted by Solid Waste Corporation Management and Public Cleansing Corporation SW Corp revealed that a household with 5 people spends an average of 900 ringgit on food alone. Shockingly, a quarter of the food are wasted during preparation, production and consumption. This raises a very important question. Wouldn't it be more appropriate and sensible if the surplus food could be collected and distributed to the less fortunate instead? Let's take a look at this report by Farah Nabila Wazir.
The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization estimates that the amount of food waste in Malaysia is about 15,000 tons per year. And for scale, the Petronas Twin Towers can be filled up in just 18 days with this food gone to waste. So just imagine how many food that we waste in just one day. So what's the harm in sharing? One way of addressing this problem is by setting up food banks through cooperation or non-governmental organizations. Shops, supermarkets and food companies are also encouraged to deal with this problem by donating the unsold food instead of disposing or destroying them, which makes it possible for people in need to have access to food. This would benefit people such as 60-year-old Muhammad Ali Abdullah, as the high cost of living in the city is making it very difficult for him to support his family of 7. He said unsold food items such as fish, vegetables and fruits that can be given away as food aid would help ease his burden.
Pasal hari-harian belanjaan sayur semua tinggi lah. Macam ni dapat bagus lah. Alhamdulillah lah. Kita tak pernah dapat macam ni. Tahun ni kita dapat lah. Mana-mana supermarket tu, diorang pagi buang dalam tong sampah banyak. Buah-buah, sayur-sayuran. Macam ni bagi, bagus lah.
For Zinong Aziz, a 61-year-old retiree, he also noticed that many Malaysians waste a lot of food when shopping.
Orang Malaysia ni memang macam tu. Orang Malaysia dah memang tabiat dia macam tu dah. Saya tengok mana-mana pun sama jugalah. Bila makan tak habis dibuang. Bukan dia habiskan. Tapi kalau boleh kita tak naklah buang membazir. Buat barang tu jangan banyak.
Did you also know that the uneaten food that ends up rotting in landfills has an adverse impact to the environment? This is because the food waste emits harmful greenhouse gases such as methane, which contributes to global warming. Despite this, it is still not too late to protect our future. For a start, remember the simple rule of thumb to reduce food waste.
Kena plan sebelum dia keluar, dia patut cek dulu peti sejuk dia ada apa supaya sebelum dia beli.
Farah Nabila Wazir for 7 Edition.
Curated platform Rio joins forces with #1 ride-hailing service provider in Southeast Asia, Grab, to host a special Rio X Grab Malaysia Day weekend. And for the first time ever, Rio is powered by GrabPay, which means that the event is fully cashless, using only GrabPay credits with amazing discounts offered to visitors.
We also have promos going out for GrabFood and GrabPay merchants that are on our platform so that we can help to drive traffic to these merchants that actually need marketing support and help to discover their businesses.
Those of you with no plans this weekend can look forward to homegrown artisanal brands, delicious local and international food, a wide variety of creative workshops, showcases and live acts all under one roof. The Malaysia Day weekend is extra meaningful this year as Rio is being hosted in a 110-year-old building with a history that dates back to 1905, courtesy of YTL Land and Development Berhad. The historical Central Depot is located at the heart of Central West and features stunning colonial brickwork buildings and metal sheds over the span of 200,000 square feet. The event ends tomorrow. More after the break. Runner makes Malaysia proud on Malaysia Day. Stay with us. Welcome back. Tomorrow we will be celebrating Malaysia Day. Now, to mark the occasion, many Malaysians nationwide are showing their love for the country by proudly displaying the national flag, the Jalur Gemilang. However, one Malaysian is taking it a step further, not just to show his patriotic spirit, but also to make it into the record books at the Blackmore Sydney Running Festival in Australia on Sunday. 31-year-old Muhammad Shahidan alias, or better known as Edan Shah, is attempting to break the Guinness World Record by running the 42.2-kilometre race wearing below 3 hours and 29 minutes while wearing a special national flag costume. The runner and his manager, Jolin Hong, are here with us tonight live via Skype from Sydney. Thanks for joining us tonight on 7 Edition. So, Idan, what inspired you to take up this challenge and what is it that you hope to achieve?
Okay, all right. So actually, we take this challenge because it's a Malaysia Day on Sunday, tomorrow. Okay, right. So actually, this is a Guinness Book of Record to run a full marathon, 42.2 kilometers, with a national flag costume. All right. So actually, the goal, because when we decide to do this mission or project, because it's a Malaysia Day, so it's a new Malaysia. So we believe actually it will give a big impact to the country, and I hope we can make the country proud. Yeah.
Right, Idan. Now, how did you prepare yourself for this world record attempt?
Okay, all right. So actually, the number one, when we proposed to the Guinness Book of Record to do this record, actually, the number one is a mental challenge, because we're not really sure how to prepare the costume. All right. So actually, it takes very long time for us to prepare the costume, because we need to find a fashion designer from Malaysia. All right. So it takes a very long time to prepare, and actually our costume get rejected 4 times from the Guinness Book of Record. Only on Monday actually is approved before we fly to Sydney, and we are very happy that they accept the costume. And now actually when I try to wear the costume, it's quite heavy. All right, so it's 1 kg heavier. All right, so that's a challenge that I need to take on the race day, to run the marathon, to finish the 42 kilometers in 3 hours 29 minutes. Yeah.
What about you, Jolin? What are your expectations for tomorrow as Idan's manager?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a very significant day for us Malaysian. And when we prepared this like 5 months ago, we didn't know whether it will materialize. But we are so happy that tomorrow is the day for us as a country to be really proud that our Malaysia flag is flying high. And everybody will be looking at the flag. And even if they don't know what country this is, they will find out what country, that Idan is carrying on his body. So I think it will really make an impact in the world, and that Malaysia flag is flying in Sydney, and we have a new Malaysia, a new hope, for the nation. So I really wish success to Idan to complete the run in less than 3 hours, 29 minutes. All right, that's the record to break. Yeah.
Great. Now back to you, Idan. What's next after the Sydney Marathon?
Okay, all right. So actually, I love to travel the world and run marathon and bring the Malaysia flag higher. All right. So actually, one of my dreams for the last 4 years actually to finish the 6 world marathon majors. All right. So I already done 5 of them. All right. So in November, I will run my final world marathon majors in New York Marathon to complete all the 6 that I already achieved since 2014. Yeah.
And finally, what's a message you would like to share with our fellow countrymen in conjunction with Malaysia Day?
Okay, right. So actually, we are very proud to be here in Sydney today and to run the Sydney Marathon tomorrow to break the Guinness Book of Record. All right. So I hope all the Malaysians will cheer for us to break this record. So it will be quite cold on Sunday, all right? So we just heard the weather will be below 15 degrees Celsius. So I hope I will be comfortable with the costume, and I hope with the record that we try to attempt, we'll have more Malaysians to dare to dream and achieve a bigger dream to bring the Malaysia flag higher and make the country proud. Yes.
Right. I'm afraid that's all the time we have. Thank you again both for joining us on 7 Edition tonight. Now on to foreign news. Over in the US, Hurricane Florence that made landfall into the Carolinas on Friday morning has caused five deaths before it was downgraded to a tropical storm. It was believed that the mother and her infant were among those killed when a tree smashed into their home in New Bern, while the child's father was seriously injured and taken to a hospital. Authorities reported that more than 60 people, including many children and pets, had to be evacuated from a hotel in Jacksonville, North Carolina, after strong winds caused parts of the roof to collapse. Florence had been a Category 3 hurricane on the 5-step Saffir-Simpson scale with 120 miles per hour winds as of Thursday, but dropped to a Category 1 hurricane before coming ashore. However, the National Hurricane Center had warned that life-threatening storm surges in which water is pushed by a storm over land that would normally be dry and catastrophic freshwater flooding was still expected. And that wraps up 7 Edition this evening. I'm Muhammad Ahmad Hamdan. Thanks for watching and have a good one.